Well, it's noon here in Ventnor, New Jersey. That's right, Ventnor, New Jersey. And this is news that you can use from CarEdge with your hosts, Zach and Ray. How are you today, Zach?
Doing great, Pops. Glad to be here with you. Excited because we've got a good show in store. We've got our dear friend Marcello with us today. We're going to be
Yeah.
bringing him in just a second, but I don't have the soundboard anymore. So maybe you can help me out with a quick ad lib, Dad?
Yes. Son of a. Those rats are getting. Oh, no, I think somebody's at the door, Zach. Can we let them in?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good, Marcello.
Marcello, we are doing well.
Good.
I'm going to pull it up on the screen before we get started too much. Go check out Marcello's channel, Toyota World. All right. So if you just go on the YouTube, click in the search bar, type in Toyota World, Marcello's channel. There he is, right there in all his glory. He's got all sorts of great content over there and posts pretty frequently. So please go check out Marcello's channel. He is a great guest and someone that we are thrilled to have with us. How are you today, Marcello?
Very good. I was just telling your pops I had came down with a little bit of a cold, so my voice may not sound like me. It looks like me, but it might not sound like me today. Otherwise,
hey,
we're good. How are you guys?
Yeah, you look damn good.
Okay, good. It must be a shirt.
I think so, yes.
It's a good-looking shirt. If a customer came in wearing that shirt, Marcello, what would you say?
You don't want to mess with them, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely ask for
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Hey, well, let's kick today's show off with this. So we have the latest data from Toyota and all of the automakers for Q1, and we have to have a conversation with you, Marcello, because you manage a Toyota dealership, one up in Canada, but still you manage a Toyota dealership, and you've been giving us market updates on what's going on in Toyota for the past year plus. And here's the deal. In the United States for Q1, Toyota sales were off significantly. It was a fairly big shock to see them down nearly 10%, 9% here in the United States in the first quarter, year over year, while other automakers saw significant gains. Hyundai Kia, for example, is double digits, significant double-digit gains. So let's kick off there. Are you surprised by what we're seeing here in the United States? Toyota sales down year over year about 10%. And what are you seeing at your dealership?
Yeah, I'm surprised, but I can kind of understand it because it's a bit of a different animal when you're talking about sales in the U.S. At our store and in Canada, specifically Ontario, where we're at, we keep breaking records. Like month over month, year over year, we keep breaking records. We're selling everything that we get. For the most part, everything's already coming in pre-sold, but there's little to no inventory once we wrap up a month. There's little to no inventory left over. So definitely a different ball game here. Yeah.
And
Wow.
the amazing thing is, at least here in the States, from what I understand, when you look at Toyota dealers' inventory levels, they don't have any inventory either. Okay. So everything they're getting for the most part's pre-sold as well.
Got it.
Apparently, Toyota can't get them at least as many cars this year as they were able to get to their dealers last year, which to me is somewhat surprising because allegedly the chip shortage and other supply chain issues are supposed to have been lessening, and so I'm not sure that I get it, or especially considering I think what was it, Zach? Lexus sales were up like 11%.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
and Toyota sales were down 9%. It almost indicates to me that they've decided in the States to produce their more expensive products for a smaller market, but a more profitable market.
Perhaps, yeah. You know what? I take back what I said. I don't understand it then, because what I was alluding to was possibly there's more inventory on ground in general, whether it's Toyota or not Toyota, which leaves the US consumer a little bit more, having some free options, and that kind of took away maybe from sales to Toyota. But if you're telling me that's the case, then no, I guess I don't get it. I saw, if you guys ever saw the car care nut, I saw he just did a video on a Sienna, and somewhere in the video he said that wait time is crazy on a Sienna because it's like 8 months or 10 months or something. And I was like, wow. Over here it's years to get a Sienna. It's definitely better in terms of wait times, I would say, right? If you're talking US versus Canada. But yeah, the fact that you guys don't have Toyota stores sitting on inventory and the sales are down a bit, it's interesting. Yeah, because it's not the situation here in Canada. No.
It's wild. I had a TikTok that I think I put out yesterday. I went a little bit viral, and essentially, Marcello, what it was showing was from our data, the days supply of inventory for an F-150, and I think I was in like Los Angeles, and it was like 189 days supply of F-150s. And then I pulled up a Prius Prime or a RAV4 Prime, and the days supply was 17. And even I knew that was BS. It's even less than that because like we're only tracking, we're tracking stuff in transit. And I put that up on the internet to help people understand, hey, there's some vehicles that there are inventory for and some that there aren't. However, we are still seeing that year over year 10% decline, which maybe it's not that they're just trying to build the more expensive vehicles. Maybe it's just the magnitudes of scale in the United States means they just haven't been able to keep up with this year's challenges as much as they were last year. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it could be. Now, when you say day supply, we're talking new vehicle, not pre-owned, right?
Exactly.
New vehicle, yep.
Yeah. Well, that's alarming by Ford. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Ford and Ram in some regions, Marcello. It's like you can hardly believe it. Even Jeeps and stuff. Yeah, is that happening up in Canada as well?
Yeah, Ford not so much, but Dodge Rams, like, no problem. Whatever you want, you can get it. Yeah.
And I'm guessing there's bigger incentives on those products, the Dodge and Ram products up in Canada as well.
There is, yeah. They came back with their incentives, yeah. For the most part, we've seen some manufacturers here starting to dip their feet a little bit in the incentive world, like, maybe not from a manufacturer's standpoint, but possibly from the dealer or the owner's standpoint. But it's very soft still, and it's not all manufacturers.
Interesting. All right, I want to turn our attention to another thing that was in the news, Toyota related, and get your take on this, Marcello. Yeah. This was just a couple weeks ago. We had the North America head of sales, Jack Hollis, in Automotive News. Quote, this is the headline. Toyota says $50,000 plus average new car prices coming this year. Top Toyota Motor North America executives said new vehicle prices will likely continue to rise while supply constraints will ease in 2023 as excess demand, that was previously sidelined, keeps industry economics robust. So we have some of the leaders. Oh, will that work? Now we'll go back here. We have some of the leaders at Toyota essentially saying we see new car prices going up and up and up even more. But with the inventory you're seeing coming into your dealership, does that align? Like, are you seeing more expensive units, or are you still seeing some price affordable ones for your customers?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's still those affordable entry level LE model grade vehicles that you can get your hands on. Now, yeah, they're not as affordable as they were 8 years ago or whatever, but in relation, they are. For the most part, a lot of the bread and butter vehicles, though, are becoming a little bit more expensive. And I don't know that it has to do specifically with delays in, getting vehicles and part situations. If you see some of these vehicles, like over here in Canada, we have the Toyota Crown, which just came out, that you guys have as well. It sits somewhere around 60 grand. Canadian, right? MSRP. But when you look at the vehicle and you go inside, like, this thing has a lot, like, they are really packing in a lot of safety equipment, a lot of standard equipment, a lot of features, like, they have a new digital key thing going on now, Toyota introduced. It's just, there's a lot of tech, and I think it's, goes without saying, it's going to raise the price, and it's going to raise the price. Yeah.
Do you see let me rephrase what I was about to ask. Is there as strong a push in Canada towards EVs in the future, or even presently, as there appears to be here south of the border in the United States?
Okay. In general, yes. In general, yes. If we're talking Toyota specific for here in Canada, no.
Yeah.
I don't think Toyota Canada sees the future EV. I think they would more so see the future hybrid right now, which is the combination of having combustion and non-combustion hybrid powertrains. EV, no, it's something that we have to have as an option. We've got the BZ4X coming out. We've got a couple of lineups coming out that's going to be electric only. So it's going to be there as an option. Is it going to be the way of the future? Is it going to be a very strong push? No, I don't see that, but I see hybrid being the strong push. We just got release of the 2024 Tacoma. That's got the hybrid powertrain in it. You know, the Sienna is hybrid only. The Venza is hybrid only. The Tundra, you can get hybrid and non-hybrid. So I think hybrid is going to be the way of the future for some time.
At least for Toyota, but overall in Canada, they share the same philosophy or push towards an EV future as we seem to here in the States.
You know, hard one to say, possibly, but I don't know how it is there in the States. We don't really have the infrastructure for EV.
Neither do we.
You don't, eh? Okay, you don't. Like we've got those anonymous Tesla setups at malls and stuff like that. But like if you go into a large condo complex, maybe there's a charging port or two, right? And then you're housing like 300-400 people. So I don't know. If that is the push, it's years and years away.
At least in Canada, more so.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I was just curious about that.
It's years away here too. I mean, it's
years
like we're
away
living in
too.
the future and the present. It has been interesting though, seeing Toyota's leadership. We had, since last time you and I talked, the three of us talked, leadership at Toyota has changed, and that has led to slightly different press releases around how they are going to approach their hybrid and electric future. It is interesting though to see the biggest demand here in the States by far for the prime models, and those catch top dollar in every region, and especially like Southern California. It is impossible, truly impossible to find one at MSRP. So it is interesting. I mean, they have something that's really hot when it comes to a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So people do enjoy that, at least here. I want to bring up one other thing specifically about Toyota, and then maybe we can pick your brain a little bit about just the market in general and what you're seeing, Marcello. Actually, two things, if you don't mind. One is, what are the vehicles, when we've talked in the past, you've let us know that there are some vehicles that are just impossibly difficult for you to be able to get your hands on. What are those vehicles? Are you still facing acute shortages for specific makes and models?
Yeah. Some not as much as others, but we are. Like, there's certain vehicles that, for the most part, we don't entertain ordering anymore because it's just that long of a wait. Some stores may, some stores don't, but we don't want to, just because we don't know what to tell our customer, right? That's vehicles like the Sienna. That's vehicles like the Toyota Venza. That's vehicles like the RAV4 Prime. There's no proper indication we can get to say to the customer, sir or miss, you're going to be waiting about 12 months, 15 months, 18 months. We don't know what to tell them. So we don't bother. What's the most highest frequency asked for vehicle that we see? That's probably anything all-wheel drive or anything specifically RAV4 hybrid, RAV4 non-hybrid, RAV4 Prime. Of course, we have a lot of customers that come in and they want a vehicle. They put their name in line and they say before they leave, if there's a cancellation, call me, I'll take it. I'm open to the color. And generally we can work with that on other model lines. But when you're talking about a RAV4, there's no cancellations. And if there is a cancellation, we've got like a lot of other orders in priority to fill before we even get to that new customer. So like RAV4s, man, if they gave us 1,000, we'll sell 1,005. Like, they're just very, very hot. Yeah, very hot vehicle.
So then, is that putting pressure on used car pricing still up in Canada? Like, is a used RAV4 that's in good condition, that's got 10,000 kilometers? See what I did there, Pops? Very kind.
I did. I'm very impressed. Yeah.
Are those are those fetching top dollar then, Marcello?
They are. Yeah, they are. RAV4s are. Everything is late model. Anything late model. When I say late model, you can say 2020, 2021 and up. Yeah, they're pushing high. Yeah.
I have a question for you, if and it has to do with staffing and training.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, 15 years.
Okay, that's a while.
Congrats.
And during the course of your 15 years, you actually had to develop the art and the craft of selling. You literally had to know how to persuade people to do what it is that they want to do just sooner than perhaps they wanted to do it. That's sales.
Yeah.
Now, for the past 3 years,
Yeah.
I mean, a monkey could
Yeah.
write the
No, I know.
order.
It's a
So
different. Yeah.
yeah. So what do you think the level of your staff's selling ability is today, and how much do you think it's probably deteriorated over the last 2 or 3 years? And if things ever got back to pre-COVID levels, what
Yeah.
would happen to those very same salespeople that no longer know how to sell?
Yeah. You know what? It's funny you mention that, because as an industry, you're right. You got to be careful, and you gotta stay sharp with your staff, right?
Yes.
At our store, we do monthly trainings. We have monthly trainings. We have webinars. We have all kinds of things to kind of keep our staff in tune with what their real job is supposed to be, which is selling. Now,
Yes.
granted, like you said, for the past 3 years, there's not much selling involved. But I'll tell you one thing. You got to be more careful now with what you say and do than prior to 3 years ago, because you can walk into a store and buy a vehicle and get it in a week, and you don't have to worry about much, because it usually came in within the same terms, within the same rates, right? Now it's not the case. Now we sell a vehicle on one plan, and then when the car comes in, we kind of scramble because it's a different plan now. We've got to reset numbers, reset the deal, make sure the customer is still okay, make sure that we're still okay. It's actually harder to keep a deal together now, believe it or not, than it was previously. It's more work. It's actually more work. Yeah.
I can see that, but I'm just guessing that prior to the pandemic, one of the things that salespeople were really trained on was how you overcome objections.
Yeah.
And there were legitimate and illegitimate objections that you would have to overcome as a salesperson. And today, what's the objection? Well, gee, can I get it in 15 months? I mean, it's
yeah.
It's not, I mean, that's a skill that a good salesman really needs. And if it's a skill that if you really haven't practiced it for 3 years, it might be hard to recall that skill set when you need it again in the future. And that future might be, I don't know, another 2 or 3 years from now, but eventually the world will return to some sense of normal, and there'll be negotiations and overcoming objections and trying to fit people into payments and all that stuff that nobody's had to worry about for the past 3 years.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. Right now, you're selling, and you're overcoming the objection of the vehicle ETA. Believe it or not. That's exactly what it is. Like, you've got customers that had a write-off, or they moved and they need a second vehicle, and that they need it now. And we're stuck because for us, it's in our best interest always to deliver it right away, and our hands are literally tied. So you've got to really work with that. But yeah, you're right. You got to keep sharp. We keep our guys very sharp. We run a good ship. I got to say where we are. So no concerns on my end, but as an industry, might want to definitely brush up. Yeah.
I'm thinking, Dad, Joe Valverde's business has taken a bit of a hit over the past
Joe
couple
Verde,
years, maybe.
Joe
Verde. Oh man, I thought I knew my sales trainers. Marcello, question for you. Go for it, Pops.
I was just going to say, well, I don't know why you know your sales trainers. You've never had one, but
never had one. No, I think I got Jose Valverde, the old closer for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Joe Verde, the infamous sales trainer.
And a lot of people confuse the two.
Yeah.
Definitely. Marcello, I wanted to ask you about interest rates. So here in the States, I'm going to shock you, I think, unless you've been tuning in Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The average APR on a used car loan here in the United States is over 14%. The average APR on a new car loan is closer to 9% than it is 8%. All right. So APRs are through the roof here in the United States. I imagine you're seeing similar things in terms of interest rates for all sorts of debt products in Canada. My question to you is, are you seeing that turn away customers? Are you seeing customers who maybe tried to order something 15 months ago, now it's here, and they're saying, you know what, I was interested, but not if my payment is X, Y, or Z? What are you seeing on that front?
A lot to take in there. Did you say 14%?
Yes.
The
Wow.
average used car APR is 14%. That data comes from Cox Automotive. Yeah.
Yeah, Cox is huge. Yeah, Cox Automotive. Yeah, we are not there. We're like our average APR on a used is about 8.9, something like that, 9.24, 9.5, hovers around there. New car, you're anywhere from maybe 6 or high 5s to around 8, 9, and not more than that. But no, I don't think we've had real situations where a customer walked away from a deal because the rate went up. And I think it has a lot to do with just the overall mindset and the way the market is right now, where that's not the focus. The focus is not per se the deal. The focus is per se the vehicle, right? And I think until that changes, it'll be that way. We still have concerns, don't get me wrong. We've got customers that ordered the vehicle a while back, and then, you've got MSRP adjustments, you've got rate adjustments and that, so their payment can go north of $100 or $50 difference. And the topic comes up, but it's like same thing like here with mortgages. If your mortgage rate goes up and you don't lock in, then you kind of have the new rate, right? So yeah.
What's the average term that people finance for in Canada on, say, a new vehicle?
Finance, I would say 72 months, which is a 6-year term, usually bi-weekly. Yeah. But we do a lot of lease here. We do a lot of lease. I don't know about you guys there, but we have like lease penetrations up north of like 50% and over, 60% and over. And that's common.
Surprising to hear.
Yeah, because here it's been running 16 to 18% lease penetration.
Yeah. No way.
Way, unfortunately. And finance terms, there's a growing trend towards 84 and even 96-month terms.
Yeah, 96. Yeah, 96 we do sometimes, but very rare. It's a long term. But leasing is very important. I'm surprised. Like as a manufacturer and as a store, leasing kind of keeps your game going, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So for it to be that low is shocking.
It kind of leads me to this question, Kimberly, in the chat. It's good to see you here, Kimberly, one of the car coaches back at CarEdge.com. Marcello, do you see incentives coming back? And I asked that question in part with your lease comment as well, because that's why we haven't seen leasing be attractive here in the States, is the captive leasing companies are not incentivizing it. Are you seeing incentives in general at your dealership and also on the lease front in particular?
No, we don't have incentives. Sorry, I shouldn't say we don't have incentives. We currently have an incentive for repeat Toyota business. So if you're currently in an active loan or lease through Toyota or Lexus, you're eligible for 1% rate reduction on your term. So that's going on, which is great. That's a fantastic initiative, especially in these terms. In terms of actual promos from the manufacturer, like here we have red tag days. I don't see that coming. First of all, I don't even see red tag days coming. There's no real official news on that, but typically it happens now, and it's not here now. So incentive wise, I don't see it happening though from the manufacturer. It just wouldn't make sense. They're jumping through hoops. Believe it or not, they've got additional staff members and teams that they've employed in departments to handle all of these issues of no vehicles. So to throw incentives out there, it's not happening. I don't think anytime soon. No.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I guess we can't be too surprised to hear that based on.
Yeah.
Go for it, Pops.
I was going to say, believe it or not, there was, and I don't remember if it was Jack Hollis from Toyota or someone else within Toyota, where they said about 3 months ago, we have to start paying more attention to leasing again, at least in the States,
you're right.
because their lease penetration literally has dropped to like 16 to 18%, where it used to be in the mid 30s. And it makes more sense to me, and I'm sure it does to you, to know that your customer has to come back every 3 years, as opposed to putting them into a 72 or 84-month finance contract, where if they come back in 3 years, they're going to be so upside down on their vehicle that they wouldn't be able to get out of it anyway. So for the manufacturers, I think leasing makes the most sense, because you can almost force your customers to have to come back to you.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for the customer. I think it makes a lot of sense for the dealership and the manufacturer. But I think I might blame that on the dealers in the States. Maybe there's a little bit of lack of education from seller to consumer. Because for the most part here in Canada, we have like every 2 to 3 years, the customers are changing out of their vehicles. And it'd be a lot harder to do that if that customer was always in a finance, because there's
Exactly.
a larger amount of debt, right? So I think it's understanding how leasing works and how it's beneficial to a customer that likes to take, new vehicles every 2, 3, 4 years, right?
Pops,
I was going to pass on a quick story from my Mini days.
Yeah.
Go for it.
One of the things at Mini Financial that they found out was that the people that financed their Minis, okay, whether they financed them for 60 or 72 months, traditionally the largest percentage of them were trying to trade out of them somewhere between 28 and 36 months.
Yeah.
And so the message from Mini Financial was, your folks are really trying to lease their vehicles, except you've allowed them to buy them.
Yeah.
And you really need, if you share these stats with them, so you can convince them that it's in their best interest, if they want to get a new car every 3 years, that they're better off just leasing it, because they're not going to bring any negative equity to the new deal. They're under warranty the whole time. So yeah, a lot of people who finance really do, if they were educated, really would understand that it makes better sense to actually lease the vehicle if they're really trying to get something every 2.5 to 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That was
you said something before. I just want to be crystal clear. You said, leasing is a good mechanism for OEMs to bring customers back in.
Yeah.
It is a forced mechanism now. Look at what Ford's doing. Look at what Tesla's doing. There is no longer for some of these OEMs the option to even purchase your lease at the end of the term. It's the perfect revolving door if you want to be moving metal. So I think we are going to see more and more changes to the way leasing worked. Kind of like when you started in the business, that there were open-end leases and closed-end leases. Now there's only one of the two, right? We've seen the evolution of leasing. I think we're about to witness the next phase of that, especially in this post-pandemic shortage of quality used cars. You probably will see a huge push for leasing, and for those leases to also not have the buyout option. I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
And really what that becomes is it's no longer a lease. It's just a long-term 36-month rental. Okay. Because when you take away the customer's ability to be able to buy that vehicle at the end of the lease, it's strictly a rental. It is no longer a lease. And perhaps even doing a 36-month term rental in that sense, that might be the only way that allows a consumer to have a payment on a monthly basis that remains affordable to them.
My good points.
Hairs are standing up because, again, we do not advocate for this. To be very clear, we want people to make smart financial decisions and not force themselves into a payment and things like that. Marcello, I want to bring your channel back up onto the screen once more. Share a little bit with us about the types of content folks should be expecting to see over at Toyota World, and then we will let you go back getting on the mend. But it is Toyota World. Just search on YouTube. And what should folks do? They should obviously go subscribe, but what should they expect to see?
Yeah, guys, subscribe. Definitely, if you want to hit the notification bell. I try to upload weekly, sometimes every couple of days if I can. You've got a lot of updates there. What's going on with inventory? What's going on with new vehicle releases, vehicle reviews, some pointers, some tips, and a lot of cool stuff there.
Marcello, that was We're going to do Joe Verde sales training with you, man. We're going to have you sell the benefits more. We got to have you hit some of the features on that pitch. But we're going to now go check out Marcelo's channel. I just put the link in the chat as well. We've been building a relationship with Marcello now for well over a year, maybe 2 years now. And he is an awesome person in our community. So thank you, Marcello, for taking the time, especially when you're not feeling well. Pops, parting shot from you before we let Marcello go.
I just wanted to thank Marcello for gutting it out today. He is the epitome of someone in the car business, even when you don't feel well.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to pretend you do and project that you are. So thank you for doing that today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
We did. Absolutely. Hope the audience,
so
I believe the audience did as well.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
See you, Marcello. All right, Pops. It's always awesome when we get to have guests like Marcello on with us. We've got some questions in the chat like, hey, is CarEdge coming to Canada? Eventually we will be there. Thank you, Marcello, though, for taking the time to be with us. Please go check out his channel. Pops, we had a really, you got to be kidding me, though, that I want to get to. And before we do, the opposite of a really, you got to be kidding me, Dad. Today is an incredible day. This is brand new news for my father and brand new news for everyone that's with us. Today, we have relaunched car dealer reviews, folks. So if you go to the link, caredge.com/car-dealer-reviews, the form is back up. All right. We launched this. The whole kind of origin story is down at the bottom of the page about us, why we're doing this. Please, if you've bought a car in the past year or so, please go fill this form out. Pretty, please. All of this information will ultimately help us all provide a more transparent and better car buying process. So, Pops, just want to get your quick take on that. We've got car dealer reviews coming back. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a wonderful thing. It's an opportunity to get the input from our viewers and our community members as to what is actually happening on the ground, and to be able to have them share the information about which dealer is a good dealer, which dealer is a bad dealer. Will just make it easier for other people when it's time for them to go buy a car, because they can say, oh, well, if I look at this, oh my God, their reviews are terrible. Why do I want to bang my head against that? Well, let me go to the dealer that has good reviews. So I think it should be beneficial for everybody, and I'm thrilled that we're bringing it back.
We've got a couple comments in the chat saying, hey, bring Ben Hardy on. And then someone's saying that we've got drama with that. We have no drama with Ben Hardy. None whatsoever. I watch his channel from time to time. Last I talked to him, he had just had a child. And so he wasn't really available to meet up. But that was a couple months ago. So, yeah, like we have no drama with anyone. We're pretty drama-free people here. If you recommend a dealership like Ron, please go submit that on the car dealer reviews. The other thing that's new, Pops, and then we'll get to really, you got to be kidding me. The team has been working diligently on the CarEdge report. We did a little beta launch a week ago. Well, now we are back to the drawing board. I want to show you an example, Dad, of what we're working on. Bear with me for a moment. So you're going to run this for a vehicle you're thinking about buying, a 2021 Ford Explorer ST. We'll tell you if it's got clean title, the single owner, all that fun stuff.
Very cool.
Negotiability, what the fair price we estimate this vehicle to be based on transaction prices. So if you think about it, we're doing the car dealer reviews where you tell us the price you paid for cars. We're going to put some of that data into these reports so we can help people understand what a fair price to pay is. We're going to show you the distribution of similar vehicles for sale and the vehicle you're looking for relative to all those other vehicles that are currently for sale. Obviously, this is dummy data, but it'll tell you the number that are for sale, the number that have sold in the last 45 days, the days on market, the market day supply, or average days on market, the market day supply, the price history for the vehicle. And then, Dad, we're going to get into that transactional data. So as more and more people submit their car deals, we are going to pull that data in here so that everyone can see what average transaction prices are for that vehicle. We also have some data that's coming directly from state registrations that we're working with as well. So that'll be on here. Then we'll get into market conditions. So we'll tell you where this ranks in terms of pricing, mileage, and days on market. You'll be able to see it in this nice little quadrant and how it ranks relative to all the other vehicles that are currently for sale. So we took feedback from the community from CarEdge Report V1. Here's CarEdge Report V2. I know this is your first time seeing it. thoughts, comments, suggestions. I'm all ears.
Would this be CarEdge Report 2.0?
I guess so. Yes.
Is that how we refer to it in the tech world?
Yes. In the tech
Well,
world, yes.
It seems to be chock full of information, and which is a great thing, because the more information you have available to you when it comes time to making a major expenditure, the greater the likelihood is that you'll end up making the correct choice. So, having said that, I think it's great that you have all that information in one place for people to make their life easier when it comes to looking at and purchasing new vehicles, new vehicles to them. So I think it looks pretty damn good, and I can only begin to imagine, what 3.0 is going to look like, or what 3.01 will look like, but
3.01, I like that.
Yeah, well, I'm learning some things about tech, but yeah, no, I think it's important that we leverage the information we have available and the information we can gather from our community, so that we can better share that information with the community.
Yep, 100%. All right, Dad, back to this, and then we are going to do Really Gabby Kimmy. Ben Hardy has bad mouth. You guys know, if you watch the video, he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I when that came out, people said, "Oh, he's bad." I watched it. I didn't think he was bad mouthing us. He was just saying, "Hey, I don't necessarily disagree with them about, hey, you shouldn't buy a car, but I didn't take their advice because I wanted to buy a car." Okay, I didn't take that as he was bashing us or anything along those lines. And the only thing that I would have asked of Ben was that he run the picture he wanted to use of me by me first to get my approval. But my ego is not that big that it really mattered to me that much.
Yeah, seriously, we're pretty chill. If you ever see us on the streets or anything like that, please come say hi. We are very relaxed, normal folks. All right, Dad, can you hit me with a soundbite?
Really? You gotta be kidding me.
All right, gang. FTC bans telemarketing car protection provider and $6.5 million settlement. I love settlements, Dad.
Yes, especially where they admit no guilt.
So here's the deal: buying an extended warranty sucks. Okay?
Yes.
It sucks because you go to the dealership and they're charging you an arm and a leg. You get hit with all these phone calls all the freaking time. It's terrible. Well, this is the FTC stepping up. Executives of a vehicle service contract, extended warranty, fairly synonymous, vendor have agreed to lifetime bans from the industry and suspended $6.5 million judgment to settle allegations that their auto warranty pitch misrepresented their coverage. Oh, Dad, have we ever heard of people doing this in the warranty space before?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever heard of people doing it in any space before. Yeah. Since they invented the telephone, this has been going on. So, yeah, I think it's great. And anytime you're getting a phone call from somebody, you might want to think about what their motivation is.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, and this is actually going to lead me to, we do sell extended warranties. We will not spam call you. We even have Miss Kimberly Klein on the page. Okay, you can call us. If you got questions, you can call us. You want to get a quote, Dad? Look, do you even have to give us a phone number? We just had Marcello on. We were talking about Toyota. Let's get a quick quote for a Toyota RAV4. Let's see here. And we're in Maryland, sure. Like, you tell me, where's the cold call going to come from? It's nowhere. It's right here.
And the way my mind works, when you said, hey, if you want to get a quick quote, they should click on something and it should pop up like, et tu, Brutus, or what, just some stupid quote out of history at some point in time. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. But I believe we were looking at monetary quotes and not historic quotes. So
I think you were right. Oh, Kimberly says she's actually going to call you right now. So everyone get your cell phones out because you're about to get cold called by Kimberly Klein.
God, just dial random numbers, Kimberly. That's what the others do.
Yeah, just dial random numbers. All right, gang. Thank you everyone for spending part of your Thursday with us. A huge thank you to Marcello from
Yes.
Toyota World for spending part of his day, especially when he was feeling a little under the weather. We have a guest on the show next week. We have our first attorney as a guest on the show. Oh, actually, no, he's not a guest on the show. We're just doing an interview. That slipped my mind.
Yes.
We're interviewing an attorney next week. You'll see a video out on the CarEdge channel soon. We're gonna try and step it up here, gang. We're doing the dealer reviews again. Please, would love to tune into tomorrow's show and see a couple hundred new dealership reviews left there. We got the report we're working on. We're starting to get some help from some of our legal friends to help advocate for our community. So all good things going on, Pops. All good things.
Well, it's not worth doing if it's not good things.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Completely agree.
Okay, so in other words, it's time to close. We'll be back tomorrow with more news that you can use from CarEdge at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, 8 a.m. Alaska time, ladies and gentlemen. America's great last frontier. So please join us again tomorrow, and thanks everybody for being here.
we need Ventnor City to sponsor the show, and now we need the state of Alaska to sponsor the show.
I have heard a rumor. I haven't been able to confirm it entirely yet, but we might be able to do some live shows directly from the Ventnor fishing pier that's over the ocean, which would be, and it's at Surf Beach as well, so we could get some surfers in the background. Yeah.
Would people tune in? Would people join us if you're in the area? Would people physically come to the pier and hang out with us? That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun because there must be at least 2 or 3 people in the general vicinity of Ventnor, New Jersey, that might come and say hello and shake our hands and sit on some of the benches around where we could set up.
That would be really fun, Dad. That would be really, really cool.
Yes.
All right. Well, stay tuned. We'll likely have something on that front over the next couple weeks. All right, let's call it a show. I'll see you tomorrow, Dad. I love you very much. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Oh, and by the way, I love you too. I'll talk to you later.